Hello, in this short section I'm going to contrast the benefits of a breathe hole and a face cradle. Breathe holes are the original cutouts used on traditional massage tables, and Affinity is no exception. We still do tables with breathe holes. There are a couple of drawbacks to them, which is what makes face cradle so great, and we'll come to that in a moment. If you're doing massage and using a breathe hole, it's very important that you try and think about how your body is aligned and how it's positioned. The first thing to bear in mind is you are going to shorten your table by about 5-10 centimetres. And particularly with taller clients, they wouldn't necessarily want their feet to come over the end. So that's the first drawback of them. The second thing really is in terms of being able to treat effectively. You'll see, because the client is further down the table, as a therapist, I would have to lean and move forward more to be able to get into the areas to treat. And obviously this is going to put, again, strain on my lower back, and obviously might affect my health long term. Just from a practicality of a treatment point of view, what you see here, these are the rotator cuff muscles, and as you're trying to treat into the rotator cuff muscles, you notice that they're quite closed and hard to get at, which obviously is going to hinder your treatment and the effectiveness of your treatment. The second thing is that the scapula is quite close, so it's hard to get into there to give a really effective treatment. And thirdly, the neck is all squished up. So from a practical therapist point of view, it's not ideal. I mean, you can work with it, it's fine, but it's not ideal. The second thing is, a lot of people find, as clients, they find the breathe hole very claustrophobic, and certainly they don't tend to appreciate a big line which goes around their forehead and around their face. So what's happened over the last 5 or 10 years is that face cradles, which we're going to come to next, have become much more affordable. 10 years ago, a face cradle used to be £100 by itself. So just quickly, we'll just profile the use of the face cradle, and in conjunction here with an armrest, which is vitally important, or an arm sling, which of course we also have in our Affinity range. Originally, face cradles were just piece of wood with 2 prongs, like a horseshoe. Then they had the first phase of movement, where they would waggle like a wrist in such an action. And then, secondary to that, they became a diagonal motion, and all Affinity tables, they lock just with one lever, which we just push down like that, and it's solid and in place. So, from a client comfort point of view, you can manipulate them so they're comfortable and they're in an ideal position for you to give a good quality massage. So, putting the face cushion back on, I'll then lock this back into place and invite my colleague to now put her face in here and her arms through into the armrest. From a client point of view, I would say 95% of the clients think this is a much more comfortable position. You've elongated the table by 10-12 inches or 30 centimetres, you've made it much longer. So the feet are further up the table, so for taller clients, it's much more comfortable. Secondary to that, think about, as a therapist, your positioning. You're no longer having to lean over to get into the rotator cuff muscles, to the scapula, into the neck. You're not having to put strain on your lower back. So your body positioning is much better for you. Added to that, the action of having an armrest or a sling really helps the positioning of the muscles into the optimum position for the massage. And by that I mean, here the rotator cuff muscles, they're rotated forward and really in the optimum position for massage. Secondary to that, the scapular muscles here are opened, so you can get right in and treat. And thirdly, the neck muscles the neck is nice and elongated, so you can get in and treat. Very good reasons why you should consider upgrading to a face cradle or picking a good cradle to go with your table.